How many pints of Guinness do you think is brewed each day? Take a guess. I bet you wouldn't have guessed 3 million. And that's in one location. And the main location in Dublin, Ireland. That doesn't even include the 49 other countries that have multiple locations in them. So, I wanted to learn more about the man behind the brewing company, Arthur Guinness. And it's safe to say that he created one of the most widespread and lasting brewing companies. I believe it's thanks to his family history, his upbringing, and his foresight that allowed him to create something truly special. And I bet you'd be hard-pressed to find any self-respecting bar or pub that doesn't carry Guinness. Personally, I've sampled my fair share of Guinness. I've gone through pretty much the whole line that they've ever came out with. So I really wanted to learn who Arthur Guinness really was. And recently, I was lucky enough to actually travel to Ireland, to Dublin, to the main and original brewery, and learn more about him in person. Today I'm going to touch upon his family past, his early years as a brewer, and his branching out and finally finding the Guinness Brewing Company. A family's past can have a huge influence on a child, and Arthur Guinness is no different. He was born on the 28th of September, 1725, in Celbridge, in County Kildare, in Ireland, just north of Dublin. Both his parents were tenant farmers, but his dad brewed beer on the side. His father's prowess as a brewer actually increased to the point where the Archbishop of Kassel took note of him and made him his personal brewer. There, a relationship blossomed between the Guinness family and the bishop, to the point where when Arthur was born, the bishop became his godfather. With this foundation and the relationship with the bishop, Arthur was able to excel in his skills as a brewer. Arthur started off as an assistant for his father under the guidance of the bishop. There he was able to learn how to manipulate yeast, when to put hops in a brew, and other secrets and tips that brewers need to know. He did this for many years until the bishop died. At that point, the relationship between Arthur and the bishop was so strong that in his will, the archbishop gave both Arthur and his brother Richard £100 each, which back in the day was a substantial amount of money. Because of this, his brother and himself wanted to open up their own, explore, experiment. So they went to Lechlip, which is another little town just north of Dublin, and opened up their own brewery in 1755. There, they focused on ales and porters, which were the two main styles of beer at the time. There, they found some success, and they made some decent beer. After about 3 years or so, Arthur wanted more. So he left his brother Richard in charge of that brewery, and he set his eyes on Dublin, the major city at the time. He went there and explored, looking for the perfect site for his brewery. In 1759, he finally found that spot. And it so happened to be a hollow shell of an old brewery that went under. But because it was in such bad shape, he got it for very cheap. His yearly lease was only £45 a year. The catch was, though, the lease lasts 9,000 years. Many people thought he was crazy for it, but later on he proved them wrong. There, he still continued following the trends of brewing ales and porters just to keep up with what was popular. But towards the end of the 18th century, he made a controversial decision and decided to give up on ales and focus solely on porters. Now again, people thought he was crazy. And again, he proved them wrong, because through that focus, he was able to create the iconic Guinness Stout, the one everybody knows. After the creation of the stout, his name became a household name. Everybody knew him. The man flew from just Ireland to France to England to Germany. The man was everywhere. And his rise to power finally was sealed when, in 1799, he was appointed the official brewer of Dublin Castle. All these points really help us understand why and how Arthur Guinness is so important to the world of beer and the people who appreciate beer. In one way or another, everyone has encountered or sipped on Arthur's legacy. So really you can see how his family's past, his early years as a brewer, and his branching out on his own to eventually find the Guinness Brewing Company really made him who he is. So the next time you're out with your lads having a pint, give Arthur Guinness a toast. Thank you.